Om Shri Sairam. Welcome back to Sai Lakshmi YouTube channel. Hemad Pant. A well-known devotee of Baba, and he wrote Sri Sai Charitra. Govind, known as Anna Sahib or Hemad Pant, is most notable known for being the author of the beloved work, the Sri Sai Charitra. He lived in Bhandar, Mumbai. He was a self-made man who studied only up to the 5th grade and passed the public service examination and went on to hold senior post with the government. He was a government servant until 1936, where he was a resident magistrate. Before retiring in 1916, he was lucky to have connect with Baba. He was a poet at heart, and he began the most notable work in 1922 and completed it in 1926. It was Baba who called him Hemad Pant after a well-known 13th century poet. Hemad Pant meeting of Baba. Hemad Pant was working in a place called Anad in Gujarat in 1910. When Kaka Sahib district wrote to him describing the Leelas of Sai Baba, Hemad Pant was very impressed and wanted to go for a darshan at Baba. He applied for 30 days leave, which was rejected by the commissioner. Hemad Pant thought that getting transferred to Maharashtra might make it easier for him to visit Shirdi. He did apply for the transfer, but it was refused on the grounds that he had already worked in Bhandar, Mumbai. As per government rules, he could not be posted there again. However, something unexpected happened. Suddenly, the collector of Bhandar passed away due to a heart attack. There was an urgent need to station a trustworthy and responsible person in Bhandar. The same commissioner who had earlierly declined Hemad Pant transfer sent a telegram to him at Bhandar. When he was going to meet Sai Baba in 1910, he boarded the wrong train. A Muslim met him and asked him where he was headed, and the gentleman corrected him saying that Manmad mail did not stop at Bhandar. He suggested Hemad Pant first go to from another place to take the train of Shirdi. Sufficient time to get a ticket, it was the path he finally adopted. Had that incident not taken place, Hemad Pant would have been disappointed and probably returned home in doubt. He confesses himself, Baba's hand has been visible in molding my fate from the beginning. During his first visit to Shirdi, he had a 30 minutes discussion with Bala Sahib, an old friend of his, on the question whether a guru is necessary or not. He was of opinion that guru was unnecessary, that free will be required for everyone to adopt their own path. But Gan consisted him, said that there is no free at all and the only thing is destiny. On the question of guru, he said a guru is absolutely essential. After a hated 30 minutes, there was no result reached upon. His mind was restless. Then they went to the masjid, and when they prayed Baba appointed to and said what was talking on at the Vada. And what did the Hemad Pant say? Anna Sahib's name was not Hemad Pant. Hemad Pant was a great genius who is in the age wrote grand works, and while in one way this was a compliment to Hemad Pant. The other, it was reference to the merely literary skill. Anyhow, Anna Sahib was impressed by the fact that Baba, without being told of anything, knew that there was a discussion and that he had engaged it with all his ability and skill. However, Baba influence did not stop with that. Permission to write the Sai Charitra. Anna Sahib was not very proficient about saint. However, his destiny was to compel him to become a Sai Bhakta by constant association with devotees. he got wired and more correct ideas as to the functions of Guru. He gradually assigned himself more and more to dealt with Baba. Baba dealt with him in a very remarkable way. From the very beginning, made up his mind as to what should become of his Anna Sahib. Anna Sahib had been gathering information on the Leelas of Baba and began an able writer with great command over Marathi version and wishes to write out Baba's Leelas. This would be on the lines of Saraswati Gangadhar's Guru Charitra and would give peace and happiness to those affected with sorrows. It would also impact knowledge and wisdom on temporary and spiritual matters. The Leelas would be both interesting and interactive, like the Vedas, and if meditation on, they would bring about union with Brahma. So he made up his mind that he should collect these stories and treat the publication as his upasana of his Guru. It would be especially valuable to those who could not see Baba. Baba's teachings and experience was the outcome of his boundlessness and nature's self-realization, and Baba himself put this idea into his mind to collect and write them as Baba's life, or then he wanted permission for the work. Baba was moved and blessed Anna Sahib by giving him Modi and placed his blessing hand upon Anna Sahib's head. He said, "Let him make a collection of stories and experience, keeping notes and memos. I will help him. He is only an outward instrument. I should write myself my life and satisfy the wishes of my devotees. He should get rid of his ego, place it at my feet. He who acts like this in life, him I will help most. What of my life stories? I serve him in his own house in all possible ways. When his ego is completely inherited and there is no trace left of it, I myself shall enter into him and shall myself write my life. Hearing my stories and technology, teaching will treat faith in devotees, heart, and they will easily get self-realization and bliss. But let there be no instance or establishing one's own view, and no attempt to the other opinion on any sort." So said Baba. Then Hemadpant made the promise that he would surrender his ego. His infinity with Chandokar and other enable him to collect plenty of stories. This permission was given in 1916, and when Baba passed away, he had hardly written 2 or 3 chapters. Most of the work was written after 1918. He wrote 51 or 52 chapters and passed away in 1929. Meanwhile, his chapters was published in Sai Leela magazine, which was started under district and his provision. Gradually, people began to read his work and were highly influenced thereby. The effect of writing was even more on the author himself. One such effect was the complete change of his outlook. Hemadpant's transaction acceptancy. When he was introduced to Baba, Anna Chiljokar told Baba that Hemadpant had a large family, that Baba should bless him to get a new job after retirement. Baba said, "This government service he will get, but let him look to my service. That is most important." And as Baba started, Hemadpant got employed again, though only for short time, but the employment in Baba's service was permanent and grew in intensity from month on month and year on year. His thoughts were upon Baba and his Leelas, and the effect was that he always Sai-minded. His life and outlook were greatly altered. He was under the protection of Baba and said, "The moment I touched Sai Baba's feet, I began a new life. I felt much obliged to those who took me to Baba. I considered them my real relative. I cannot repay their debit. I make mental namaskar to them." A peculiarity of Sai Baba's darshan, as I find it, is that my darshan of thoughts are changed. The force of previous action, karma, are gradually non-attachment or dispassion towards worldly objects grew. It is by the merit of actions in many past births that such a darshan is obtained. And if only you see Sai Baba, really all the world assumption is the form of Sai Baba. first, when he went to Baba, he just had a devotion. His nature was egoistic and largely more. From 1910 to 16, his progress was hardly noticeable. However, in 1917, a change occurred. That story is related in chapter 18 and 19 of the Sai Charitra. One day, as he was shampooing Baba's legs, one Mr. Seth had a problem that he was mentioned to Baba. Sati was directed by Baba to read Guru Charitra and he did so for 7 days. At the close of it, Baba also said, if the work be studied carefully, the devotee will become pure and will be benefited. The Lord will pleasure and will recuse him from samsara. Hearing these words, Hemad Pant thought, for the last 7 years I have been serving Baba and I never got a vision, and this man after a week's stay gets a vision. Like Chatak bird, I am waiting for Baba to pour his nectar on to me and bless me with his instructions. This is just a thought. Baba read his thought at once and told him, go to Shama, get from him 15 rupees dakshina, stay and chat with him for a while and then come back. Accordingly, he went to Shama and asked for rupees 15 dakshina. Shama was very poor man and said, I send my 15 namaskaras. Then Hemad Pant said, I have been asked to chat with you and listen to you. Shama then began to tell him stories of Baba's Leelas, and then foremost amongst them that he mentioned was that of Miss Radhabai Deshmukh. Shama said there was a lady, an old woman, who came to Baba and was resolved to receive mantropadesh from Baba. She wanted to try and began fasting. She said she will fast on to death at her Shirdi unless Baba gave her Upadesha. After 3 days, I said to Baba on her behalf and requested Baba to take pity on her. So Baba sent for her and told her, Mother, why are you so subjecting yourself to unnecessary torture and depending death? You are my mother and I am your child. Pity me. I will tell you my story. If you listen to it, it will do you good. I had a guru. He was very great saint and most miracle one. I served him very long indeed. Still he did not whisper any mantra into my ear. I was anxious never to leave him but to stay with him and serve him and receive some instruction from him. But he had his own method. He just got my head shaved and asked me to 2 paisa as dakshina. I gave him it same. If you ask how a perfect guru would ask for dakshina and yet be called desireless, I explained to you that what he asked for me was not 2 coins. The first piece that he asked me for Shraddha, faith and sabori, patience. These 2 I gave him and he was pleasured. I served my guru for 12 years. He brought me up. There was no lack of food or clothing. He was full of love. He was love in create. His love was indescribable. He loved me keenly. Rare is such a guru. When I looked at him, I was filled with bliss, and he was in bliss. Night and day I gazed at him without thinking of hunger and thirst. Without him, I felt restless. I had no other subject to meditate on. I had nothing but the guru to attend to. He was my soul. My mind was always fixed on him. That feature is the first piece, Nishita. The second was Saburi. He is my waiting patiently and very long on my guru and serving him. This will take you across samsara. Saburi is mainless in man. It removes all the sins and gets rid of various ways, removes you all fear and ultimately gives you success. Saburi is a mean of virtues and is a good thought. Saburi and Nishta go together. My guru never expected anything else from me, but he never neglected me. He always protected me. I lived with him and sometimes away from him. Still, I never left the absence of his love. He always protected me by his glance as a tortoise feeds its young one. Oh mother, my guru never taught me any mantra. How can I give you any mantra? Do not try to get mantra or upadesh from anybody. Make me the sole subject of your thought and action, and you will undoubtedly attain Paramatma, the spiritual goal of life. Look at me wholeheartedly, and I shall also do the same. That is, look at you wholeheartedly. Sitting in this masjid, I speak the truth and nothing but the truth. No sadhana, no shastra is necessary. Have faith and confidence in your Guru. Believe fully that Guru is the sole actor or donor. Blessed is he who knows the greatness of his Guru and thinks him to be Hari, Hara and Brahma. Trimurti incarnate. Shama said the lady then accepted the advice. After hearing the Shama, Nana Sahib went to the masjid and there he sat next to Baba. When the Harati was going on, Baba asked him whether he went to Shama and asked for Dakshina and had a chat. Anna Sahib said Shama sent his 15 namaskar. In the chat he gave an account of Miss Radhakrishnaval Deshmukh incident. Baba asked what is it. Anna Sahib narrated the whole story. Then Baba said, wonderful is the story. Did the story stick you and did you catch its significance? Anna Sahib said, yes. The restless of my mind has vanished. I have got true peace and come to know the true path. Then Baba said, my method is quite unique. Remember well, this one story it is very useful to get knowledge of self. Meditation is necessary. If you practice it continuously, the thoughts will be peaced. Begun quite desireless, you should meditate on the Lord who is in all creatures. And when the mind is concentrated, the goal will be achieved. Meditate always on my formless nature, which is knowledge in create, consciousness and bliss. If you cannot do this, meditate on my form from top to toe as you see here night and day. As you go on doing this, your virtues will be one pointed and the destination between the meditator and the act of meditation, thing meditated upon will be lost and the meditator will be one with the consciousness and be merged in Brahma. The mother tortoise is one bank of the river and her younger ones is on the other side. She gives neither milk nor warmth to them. The merry glance gives them nutrition. The young ones do nothing but remember their mother. The tortoise glances to the young ones, a downpour of the nectar, the only source of substances and happiness. Similarly, is the relationship between the Guru and the disciples. Baba gave him sugar candy and said, if you take this story to heart, remember it well. Your state will be equally sweet. Your desires will be fulfilled and you will be happy. Meditate on the story. Assimilate its spirit, then you will always remember and meditate on the Lord who will manifest himself to you. Om Shri Sai Ram.